Are you ready to win despite everyone who's ever said you wouldn't? Then let's go. It's time to prove those doubters wrong. Hi, and welcome to the Last Laugh, No Apologies podcast. I'm your host, Christine Christensen. I'm a mom, passionate entrepreneur, and success coach. If you're ready to finally flip the script on all those doubts in your head and the doubters in your life that have been holding you back, you, my friend, are in the right place. It's time to dust off that crown, show them what you're made of, and remind them that you are the main character in this life story. Get ready, because you're about to make them regret that they ever doubted you, and I'm here to cheer you on. Each week, we'll dive into mindset shifts, inspiring stories, and practical strategies that are designed to help you realize your worth, embrace the amazing woman that you are, and step into your power so you can start living your life unapologetically. It's time for some real talk, some laughs, and some transformation. Are you ready? Okay, let's dive into today's episode. Hey there, gorgeous. Welcome back to the Last Laugh, No Apologies podcast, where we ditch the excuses, level up our lives, and chase the dreams that set our souls on fire. I'm your host, Christine Christensen, your no BS success coach. And today we're unpacking where this too much bullshit comes from, why the right people will celebrate you, and how to own your fucking power like the absolute force of nature that you are. Let's get into it. Have you ever been told that you're too much, too loud, maybe too ambitious, just too anything? Or maybe you've been told to tone it down or not to be so extra. Well, guess what? That is not your freaking problem. That is their problem. And let me tell you right now, those people, they're just not enough for your kind of energy, period. So if you've ever been told to shrink, to tone it down, to not take up so much space, then this episode is for you. Today, we're unpacking where this too much bullshit even comes from, why the right people will celebrate you and not just tolerate you, and how to own your fucking power like the absolute force of nature that you are. So let's get into it. Okay. First up, this whole idea that we need to make ourselves smaller so that other people will feel more comfortable. Who the hell even came up with that? Seriously. But here's the truth. You have been conditioned to shrink. Society has been quietly whispering this message in your ear forever. Be nice. Don't be so loud. Quiet down. Don't be too ambitious. Don't make people feel uncomfortable. Meanwhile, we have Steve from accounting who never shuts the hell up about his fantasy football league or about how many women he has in rotation. And you know what I mean about that. And no one tells him to shut up. So let's be clear. Playing small isn't serving anyone. Not you, not the people who actually need your voice, and definitely not your business. The world does not need more women dimming their light. What it needs is more of us turning it all the way up. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if people don't like me? Listen, some people won't like you. That's just a fact. I guarantee you there are one or two, or maybe a few dozen more that don't like me. But here's the thing. Those are not your damn people. The right people, they will celebrate the hell out of you. They'll be your biggest cheerleaders. And the ones who think that you're too much, well, let's be honest here. They were never going to buy from you or support you or hype you up anyway. So why the fuck are we even worrying about them? And let's talk about owning your damn space. This applies to your business, your brand, and your freaking life. If you're scared to show up or to post that thing or to launch that next offer or your first offer, just ask yourself, Who is it that really loses if I stay small? Because trust me, someone out there needs exactly what you bring to the table. The bottom line is you don't need to make yourself smaller so that someone else can feel bigger. Step into your power and start taking up space on freaking purpose. Let me tell you about a time that I got called a lot, and it was at a mastermind event of all places. So, not too long ago, I was in a mastermind with some pretty badass women. We had just gone through an amazing training, and we were broken up into smaller groups where we all had to introduce ourselves and share what we do. So, of course, everyone was giving these polished professional intros. And when it was my turn, I said something along the lines of, I help women stop hiding and start making money without overthinking themselves into an anxiety spiral. Boom, right? I thought so. Well, one of the women in the group, a super successful six-figure entrepreneur, spoke up and said, Wow, you're a lot. And for a split second, that old, familiar, defeating conditioning kicked in. And I immediately thought, oh my God, was I really too much? Should I have just toned it down a little bit? What did I just do? But then something clicked. I thought, hell no. And I realized that her reaction, it was not about me. It was about her discomfort with how unapologetic I was. And guess what? Two other women in that same mastermind came to me afterward and said, I loved how real you were. I need that kind of energy in my life. And that moment was a turning point for me. I realized that I could either shrink back and make people like her feel more comfortable, or I could be bold and attract the right people. And guess what? I stayed freaking bold. And so should you. All right. So let's hit the highlights real quick. First, you've been conditioned to shrink. So it's time to unlearn that shit. The world does not need you smaller, it needs you bolder. Next, the right people will celebrate you, not just tolerate you. And if someone thinks you're too much, that's their freaking issue, not yours. They're just not enough for your energy. And finally, own your damn space and then take up even more of it. Visibility is not about ego, it's about impact. You deserve to be seen and you deserve to be heard. And you do not need anyone's permission to do it. And remember, being too much for the wrong people means that you're just right for the right ones. Okay, here's your challenge for today. I want you to do one thing that makes you feel a little too bold, maybe a little too much, and a little too unapologetic. Post that thing you've been overthinking. Speak up in that meeting, or even go live on Insta, even if your voice shakes. It is time to start taking up space on purpose. And when you do, make sure to let me know or tag someone who's important to you and let us hype you the hell up, because I promise you, this is the energy that changes everything. Also, if this episode gave you some fire today, please do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review, and make sure to share this with a friend who also needs to hear it, because we are so freaking done playing small over here. All right, go be too much today.